Welcome in A to Z Sports Live on a Tuesday, and we've got some Derrick Henry news to discuss with Adam Schefter's report this morning. So we will break down that report, what's going to happen with Derrick Henry as a franchise deadline to extend is tomorrow. News about Derrick Henry early this morning. So Zach and I will go over that. No deal done, as you can see on the graphic right there. We're got our quadruple broadcast this morning: Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch. So welcome in, Zach. Gonna have a good show. Then we're gonna talk about Madden ratings, because I've seen the league top 5 running backs on Madden 21, and Derrick Henry is a part of the top 5, which that wasn't a bad, that's a good thing. Madden did not screw up that. That's a good thing. And then how do you wear your mask? That's our end of show topic. How do you wear your mask? As we've talked about that over the last several weeks and months about wearing masks. We both have our daily masks with us that we'll put on at the end of the show. Zach says he likes his. He thinks it's funny. I don't know what it is. I have seen Zach wear a mask once. But I don't think it was this funny mask that you speak of, because it was just a generic thing when I saw you wear a mask. So welcome in, Zach. Hope you're having a good start to your Tuesday. Let's get this thing going.
Yeah, no, it's a new mask. Well, throwback of sorts, but I hate wearing masks. I can't stand them, but I'm not one of those people that are like, screw you, I'm not going to wear the mask. Like if it's a mandated thing by the county, I live in the county, I live in the city, I'm going to abide by the rules. I'm going to play fair. But
nobody likes wearing a mask. We all prefer to not.
But I'm going to make some people uncomfortable while doing it. So we're going to share our mask. I haven't seen your mask. What is it? Regular mask, new age mask.
We'll save that for the end of the show. We'll save that for later.
I know. I can't wait. And plus, we're going to talk a lot about Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry and John Robinson and Mike Vrabel, that trio relationship of where it's headed, right? I mean, I think this was a pretty monumental day for the summer as it concerns Derrick Henry getting paid. We've seen him be putting in the work, honestly, on his IG. I mean, we've seen Derrick Henry. That dude is getting bigger than I didn't think that man could get any bigger. But he is getting bigger, faster, and stronger. So before we get going on this Tuesday, talking Titans, talking Derrick Henry, please share the broadcast. Bottom right corner of your screen, if you're watching on Twitter/Periscope, please share the broadcast. You'll see those 3 little dots. Tap that bad boy and retweet the broadcast. We need to pop up in your Twitter followers timeline. Also, Facebook. What's going on, Facebookers? More people will pile in over the next 5 to 10 minutes. And as you do, please share the show. Sharing is caring. Bottom left corner of your screen, share now to public. Share around. We need to pop up in your Facebook friends newsfeed. They will appreciate you, right? I'd love to see what kind of mask they have. And look, you can describe your mask. You can describe whether Derrick Henry should be higher in Madden raters, and you can talk about whether John Robinson is right or wrong. Let's get this party started, Austin. What do you say?
Yep, let's do it. Let's get it going officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered by TennesseeTickets.com. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at A to Z Sports. You like our Facebook page at A to Z Sports Nashville. We are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, and we go live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time. Got to thank our sponsors, because they make everything happen for our show and for our business. RentersWarehouse.com is where to go to find out how much your home can rent for. The professional landlords in the Nashville area. RentersWarehouse.com. Mandu, the pulse of fitness, where one 15-minute workout of full-body electronic muscle stimulation simulates 5 hours in the weight room. Your first workout's free at Mandu.com. Also, the Tucker Agency, Nashville's independent insurance agency. TuckerTN.com for them. Calvin and Subtle, if you need some new flooring, hardwood floors and finishings, calvinandsettle.com. And of course, the new sponsor we talked about for the first time yesterday, the Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic care and sports medicine. boneandjointtn.org, boneandjointtn.org. Zach, let's get this thing going. Look, we were actually preparing to have this show tomorrow, as I did not expect to wake up and at like 5:30 Central Time, Adam Schefter puts out that Derrick Henry is not expected to get a long-term contract from the Tennessee Titans, that he will play the 2020 season, however it looks with the coronavirus, under the franchise tag that he already has signed earlier in the summer for $10.2 million. Zach, no big deal for Derrick Henry. You have been pounding the table just like Henry has been pounding the weights this offseason for him to get a contract extension. What was your immediate reaction to the news of no deal this morning?
Well, and as Kendall says, Kendall brings up, he says, it's disrespectful to Derrick Henry. I think it absolutely is disrespectful to Derrick Henry, but it also is business, right? And I'm a businessman. We own a business. I understand the ins and outs of who to pay, who not to pay. They chose Ryan Tannehill this offseason. They did not choose Derrick Henry. We'll talk about why that was and maybe the influence that COVID-19 had on this deal not getting done. But I think this is my personal opinion. And we've gotten to know Derrick Henry, honestly, since the first day he walked in the locker room. And I think the Titans, look, I give credit to John Robinson, the Tennessee Titans, for drafting Derrick Henry in the second round, because they not only drafted a behemoth of a back, but also a good person and a team player. All of those characteristics are what John Robinson wanted to build this roster around, and that got him an AFC Championship appearance. God knows what it will get in the future. Maybe a Super Bowl appearance, maybe a Super Bowl. We don't know. But for Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans, the Titans are lucky to have Derrick Henry's personality. Derrick Henry's personality, coming from Alabama, work hard. Work. When somebody doesn't give you something, you work harder for it. And Derrick Henry signed the franchise tender, signed the franchise tag, and he is going to play under the franchise tag at least this year. The Titans took advantage of the luck that they received on how Derrick Henry goes about his business. And they weren't going to sign him, Austin. We both talked about that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it got to that point.
And this is ridiculous because Sawyer Kimbrough on Periscope says no loyal to the players, not even the leader of the team, the best player on the team. So no
he
loyal.
He is the best player on the team.
Yeah, well, and we'll talk about Madden ratings of who Madden thinks is the best player on the Titan here later on, and we'll talk about Derrick Henry being a top 5 rated running back on Madden, which was correct. But Sawyer, dude, no loyalty? What are you talking about? You're not paying attention to what John Robinson has done over the past several years as Titans GM. A few years ago, he gave Jarrell Casey a massive $60 million year. Now, yes, he traded Jarrell Casey this offseason because he's 31 years old and he's due to make over $30 million over the next 3 years. That's the right football move. The following offseason, he gave Taylor Lewan the richest offensive line contract in the NFL's history. A guy that he didn't even draft, but he gave it to Lewan. Then the following year, he gave a guy he actually drafted in Kevin Byard one of the richest safety contracts in NFL history. So get out of here with your there's no loyalty for the Titans players.
Well, I'm
not done. They love to re-sign their own guys. It's really tough to name a player who the Titans have drafted and who has been really successful that they have allowed to walk in free agency. Typically, they sign the guys they want before their deals come up. The only guy that's really been allowed to walk away after being drafted by the franchise, having success for the franchise, is Avery Williamson, because they didn't think Avery Williamson was worth $7 million a year as an inside linebacker. And guess what? He's not. They made the right move there. But John Robinson is actually very loyal to the guys on the team.
I don't question his loyalty at all. I mean, I think everything you stated was absolutely correct. Those are facts. I think where Titans fans get things misconstrued is kind of like it's what Titans for Life is saying. He says, I'm disgusted. Tannehill shows up, plays half a season well because of Derrick Henry, and gets paid. It's a bad message sent. I think that is the caveat that is different from all of those other players signing compared to this. But what Titans for Life does not, I don't think, really understand, it's the money. The money is, if you franchise tag Ryan Tannehill, you have to pay him. Look, they paid Ryan Tannehill long-term. I understand that. But if you just franchise tag him, you have to pay him a lot more money if just tagging Derrick Henry, almost 3 times as much.
Well, and listen to this. If you franchise tagged Ryan Tannehill, he would have cost more this year than what he's costing right now on his long-term deal.
Well, and if that's the benefit of signing.
They saved money by not franchise tagging Ryan Tannehill, and they saved money by franchise tagging Derrick Henry. Both ways, they saved about $10 million in total on this year's cap.
Austin, I bring up the point that I made just a few minutes ago. If Derrick Henry had a different personality, do you think that they could have taken advantage of this situation that they were in? They had two premier players, Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. What if Derrick Henry acted like Le'Veon Bell or had the personality of maybe Ezekiel Elliott? Diva-type players. Derrick Henry has shown to this point, team first, not a diva. What do you – that would have thrown a complete and utter wrinkle in this offseason. And I think that's why they franchise tagged him, because they thought they could.
Well, there's two ways that Derrick Henry has gotten screwed in this year of this franchise tag negotiation window. I'll get to those two ways, and then we'll get you guys more involved. A ton of comments flying in. So I'll give you the two ways that Derrick Henry got screwed by timing that's out of his control. But first, Zach, tell people about how you can actually save money on your insurance with Tucker Agency.
Yeah, the Titans saved money by not signing Derrick Henry. Just $10 million and change for this year would have been a lot more money over a longer period of time. Look, if you lost some money, and look, we all did. I feel like over the last several months, we all lost some form of income. Business has not been running the same. Here's a way to make some more money that maybe you already have to pay. You have to have insurance, car insurance, homeowners insurance, renters insurance, life insurance. If you've got a family, Tucker Agency can help you. And actually, you email Will, the owner of Tucker Agency, and his team will take care of you. Will@tuckertm.com. Send him an email. Heard about you on A to Z Sports. How can I save money on my insurance? It's that simple. Email him today. You'll start saving hundreds of dollars. The average customer saves 20%. That's big time. Go look at your insurance policy. You could be saving some money.
All right, A to Z Sports here live on this Tuesday. Don't forget, we had a couple people take advantage of it yesterday. AZ30 for 30% off all orders at shop.atozsportsnashville.com. That's promo code AZ30 for 30% off anything you want to get right there. Shop.atozsportsnashville.com. We're going to ask you guys a question here in a second about Derrick Henry not getting a contract extension from the Tennessee Titans. Well, there are two ways that Derrick Henry got screwed because of the timing and because of 2020. The coronavirus is the obvious screw job that Derrick Henry received because we're all getting that screw job right now in our daily lives, with our professional lives, our personal lives, whatever it might be. We're all getting screwed because of the coronavirus. And Derrick Henry is as well, because frankly, it's really difficult to sign after the coronavirus hit. And once we got past the initial big free agents contracts in the month of March, which was just the beginning of the coronavirus here in the States, NFL teams still spent their regular franchise free agent money then, right, on long-term deals like the Titans did. But once you got past April, there's like no big deals being handed out, minus the generational player $500 million Patrick Mahomes, which is an outlier. But Derrick Henry gets screwed because there's no way to tell what the salary cap is going to look like over the next 2 to 3 years because of the impact of loss of revenue with ticket sales basically being zero for this upcoming season, not knowing what the season's going to play out like, and that impact on the salary cap. So Derrick Henry gets screwed by the coronavirus first and foremost. And secondly, Derrick Henry also gets screwed because the new collective bargaining agreement that was agreed on in the month of March as well. Because, Zach, you brought up Le'Veon Bell and Ezekiel Elliott and even some other, like Melvin Gordon, holding out. Holding out is a way to get a long-term contract, was a way of getting a long-term contract, because under the new CBA that was signed in March, just as Henry was getting the franchise tag, Derrick Henry is not really able to hold out because the CBA really penalizes players even more for holding out, where it's not worth it to hold out. So now, even if Derrick Henry had the personality to be a diva and hold out, it would be very, very unbeneficial to his financial being to make those decisions to not play and to hold out like guys have done in the past.
More difficult, absolutely, and that's the collective bargaining agreement that they signed. I agree with that.
So those two ways, not the Titans' fault, not Derrick Henry's fault, two ways that he kind of got a screw job.
When you've done what Derrick Henry has done, he has all of the leverage. He's the face of your franchise. He's the best player on your football team. If he really wanted to hold out, no amount of money they would pay him. They would pay him. Now, coronavirus, I think you named two reasons. I think the first one was more impactful,
which is why I listed it first.
Yeah. Fair. But I don't think that plays in. If you want to hold out, you'll hold out, and you'll hold every great player. And Derrick Henry is a great player. Every great player can hold the owner's foot to the fire. They can. And so Derrick Henry is one of those.
Yeah, but we also know the situation of the running back. And I tweeted this morning, it makes no sense to give Derrick Henry a long-term deal. It's too complicated. His situation is too complicated to find common ground.
Once they chose Tannehill, I think that the writing was on the wall.
Well, and once Tannehill started having success and he had a lot of wins under his belt, becoming the Titans starting quarterback, we knew it was going to be a tough situation. And I said all along, I remember we were doing a live on broadcast show back in, I want to say November or December. And when I said Ryan Tannehill has earned his $100 million contract, and he got it 4 years for a total of 118. And because that's an easier contract to negotiate than a running back contract for a guy who led the NFL in rushing. Because what else did we see this offseason too? We saw Todd Gurley get cut and then sign in Atlanta, hometown discount, but for $5 million for Todd Gurley, that's rough because the Falcons had just cut Devontae Freeman, who was a top 5 paid running back, or a couple weeks before signing Todd Gurley for very cheap. Then you also had David Johnson, who was traded his contract away. So you saw 3 of the top 5 highest paid running backs get cut or get moved because of that contract. And the other 2, when you talk about Zeke and Le'Veon Bell, the Jets were trying to trade Le'Veon Bell, and Ezekiel Elliott's contract hadn't even kicked in yet with the Cowboys. So Derrick Henry, for his financial situation, is playing the wrong position. Derrick Henry is a great running back. He is a team leader, and he was the team MVP last year. But financially, the running back position is not the right way to get paid long-term in today's NFL.
We're about to ask you guys a question, get you involved. I do. G-Man on Base says he's really good. He's not great. He had a great year. I adamantly disagree with that. Derrick Henry is a great running back. He is a great football player.
And he absolutely had a great year, but he's both.
Yes.
Yes. So A to Z Sports here live on this Tuesday morning. We all woke up to Adam Schefter saying Derrick Henry not getting a contract extension from the Tennessee Titans before the deadline tomorrow. So now let's get you guys more involved than you already have been. A lot of good comments already that we've read. But let's ask you guys this question. How do you feel about Derrick Henry not being extended by the Titans? How do you feel about Derrick Henry not being extended by the Tennessee Titans? Before we read more of your comments and get our opinions as well, let me tell you about our new sponsor, the Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic care, sports medicine, orthopedic care, all under one roof. You don't have to go to an appointment and then go to an imaging center for that test. No, they've got MRI machines. They've got all the x-ray stuff. Any test you want, they've got it in their building. You can have your surgery in that same building as well. And then guess what? Your rehabilitation process also in the Bone and Joint Institute building right there. Brand new, beautiful building off Highway 96 and 65 right there in Franklin. boneandjointtn.org. boneandjointtn.org. Both Zach and I are future surgery patients of this for Zach's toe and for my shoulder. So we trust some great doctors there, great team of doctors at the Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee.
Yeah, A to Z Sports. We got people buying hats now, baby. AZ30. That's not only hats, but all of our gear. Shop.atozsportsnational.com. Your promo code until sports return. Take advantage. 30% off everything in the shop. I love that logo. Designed that ourselves. Gotta love that. So I want to read this comment that while you were talking. And I think this kind of sums up. Look, Pam Hall says disappointed. Derrick and a little aggravated at the Titans. I think that's great from Pam because I think that's true emotion. But then Donald comes in and says, I 100% support the decision. You don't pay running backs, right? But then Shamps, this is it. Offensive identity and face of the franchise. Similar to Zeke, have to pay them. What do you think about Champ 21's comment right there? Because he didn't lie to us. Offensive identity, check. Face of the franchise, check. Similar to Zeke, check. Have to pay them. That's the question I'll ask you, Austin.
Well, but it's all about what I said earlier. It's common ground. What we don't know is what Derrick Henry's camp wanted in this contract. We don't know because Zeke got 6 years for $90 million. The Titans are not going to do that with Derrick Henry, right? So, what was Derrick Henry asking for? Was he asking for 4 or 5 years? Was
Christian McCaffrey's contract hurt Derrick Henry?
Yes, because it was for $16 million, and we all know that Christian McCaffrey does way more than Derrick Henry on the football field because he's a 1,000-yard rusher and like a near 1,000-yard receiver, and Christian McCaffrey can basically do it all. You don't have to take McCaffrey off the field ever. There are situations where you have to take Derrick Henry off the field, so you cannot pay him like McCaffrey and Zeke, who are full-time 3-down backs. Derrick Henry is not that. He's just not, and that's the reality too.
And I'm not arguing that. Look, I was incorrect on Christian McCaffrey. Fully admit that. But Derrick Henry means more to his team because of the state of his franchise. The Carolina Panthers are rebuilding, bud.
Yeah, they're going to be
Teddy Bridgewater and Matt Rule. Matt Rule drafted every single solitary player on the defensive side of the football. If that doesn't scream rebuild, I don't know what does. The Tennessee Titans just went to the AFC Championship game. So the value of their best player is much higher to their team than Christian McCaffrey is. So I think that could be an issue with Derrick Henry saying, look, I mean more to this team because of where we are in
sure, because of the ability, the window. The championship window is here, but in the championship window, you had to pay your quarterback. And that's what the Titans haven't had to do in such. When's the last time the Titans have had to pay a quarterback like this? Never. Because Vince Young never got past his rookie contract. Jake Locker obviously retired after his one. And then Marcus Mariota didn't get past his rookie contract. So this is the first time since Steve McNair's blockbuster deal in the early 2000s, the Titans have actually had to pay a quarterback a chunk of the percentage of the salary cap.
But what did they do? They did that after like 10 games.
Right. Because
look, it's a different state of football in 2020 than it was when Mac 9 was playing. But don't you think that that's a little bit of a head scratcher? You go through franchise quarterbacks, you just named them, VY, Jake Locker, and Marcus Mariota. You don't pay any of them after their rookie deals. And then Ryan Tannehill comes in, jumps on the scene. Granted, takes you to the first AFC Championship game in 17 years, and you pay him $119 million.
118, 91 guaranteed over 3 years. But still, but that was the market. and the quarterback is always more important. Remember how we used to talk about how the Titans would never get with the times and win the modern NFL? Well, they actually did that this offseason by investing in the quarterback and in the starting quarterback position. And so now we're hating on them because they won't pay the running back who's kept them in the old NFL, not the modern NFL.
Well, because he was the one that made them go to the AFC Championship.
Well,
Derrick Henry.
You can say that. Look, Derrick Henry, obviously, early in the show, I said Derrick Henry was the team MVP. No doubt about it, right? Team MVP. But Derrick Henry was also the leading rusher and on the team when Marcus Mariota had him 2-4. Derrick Henry was still the running back when they were 2-4, and he was the running back when Tannehill finished the season 7-3. The difference there was not necessarily Derrick Henry. The difference there was Ryan Tannehill and Arthur Smith and how the defense had to play a newfound passing game that was explosive and not hesitant under Marcus Mariota. So Tannehill was a humongous part of that turnaround. We all know that. We all watched the damn games. Derrick Henry needed to have Tannehill for him to bust out and have the success he did to get them to the AFC title game.
So let's talk about the risk before we move on from this topic. Austin, I think that the scary part for Titans fans, and look, everybody watching the show is no dummy. They watched all these games. We watched all these games. We all know the value of Derrick Henry. Aren't they putting themselves in a really tough spot? Possibly, as you referenced, their championship window is open now, right? Their window is open. That closes very quickly at times.
Yes.
Wouldn't you? You're risking that your best player, Derrick Henry, that probably is going to be very good over the next, let's say, 3 years at least. I'll give him like 3 unbelievable years. That's
absolutely two.
That's the trajectory.
Yes.
Well, no, I would disagree with that because at the beginning of his career, he was a backup. So I would shift that even further along because he didn't get as many carries because DeMarco Murray was taken away.
He's got more. He's got tread. Yeah, for a 26-year-old back, Derrick Henry does have a good amount of tread left.
Exactly. So that's why I put that the next 3 years. Why would you be willing to risk him leaving or forcing his unhappiness because you want to keep franchise tagging him or refuse to pay him during your championship window? What kind of risk is that, Austin?
It is a risk. It is absolutely a risk because the Titans are allowed to franchise tag Derrick Henry in back-to-back years. He's making $10.2 million under the tag this year. Next year, that tag would be 120% of this tag. So it'd be like just north of $12.5 million. So that's a pretty solid deal. I think if Derrick Henry signed a 4-year deal for $12 million a year that had an out after the third year, if they signed him to that deal this past March, then everybody would be happy with that. But I don't know if Derrick Henry was asking for more than $12 million a year.
Austin, the problem is that if next year, this 2020 season, Derrick Henry just dominates like he did last year and is in a top 5 running back, leads is 1, 2, or 3 in rushing, and they're a running football team, he's going to get a lot of opportunities.
Okay,
he's going to get a lot of carries. No, listen to me.
I'm listening.
You know what the standard's going to be next offseason?
What's that?
Christian McCaffrey. And so now you've kind of played yourself if you're the Titans because you're going to have to pay him more than Christian McCaffrey because he's proved that he is the value of one of, if not the best running back in the league. You're going to get paid like Zeke. You're going to get paid like Christian McCaffrey, and you're going to be forced to do that because Derrick Henry ain't no punk. He ain't going to go 2 years under a franchise tag.
I mean, he might. But again, all right. Well, you don't know that. You can't say no that he won't a whole year before he might have to.
His agent will not let him do that.
Well, okay, so G-Man on Base
agent won't let him do it.
G-Man on Base says they'll tag him now and extend him next year. I don't see all the hysteria. Well, and maybe that's true. And here's what the Titans can use to the Titans' advantage, because you always talk about the headline, right, Zach? The headline for the Derrick Henry contract was going to have to be worthy enough of the extension. It was the most guaranteed money for a running back or the highest percentage or whatever the story was going to be. Well, the Titans can use the coronavirus as an excuse for their story to say, look, we couldn't come to a deal on long term because we don't know what the long-term effects are going to be for the coronavirus. We don't know how many games we're going to play this season. And that's valid, right?
Yeah, but next year when I'm Derrick Henry negotiating get paid higher than Christian McCaffrey, I'm going to tell COVID-19 to kick rocks. That's not going to be an excuse.
They at least know it. Did they have a season this year? They know what the salary cap's going to go down to or stay the same possibly, so they can plan for that. That's the coronavirus is a major player in this situation, and it's not the coronavirus is not the reason why he did not get an extension. The reason why he didn't get extended is because it's not smart to pay running backs a lot of money over a long-term deal. But the coronavirus will definitely be the excuse the Titans can sell to the fan base for why he didn't.
Let's see. Tribe called Crew says he won't have to. If he replicates last year's number, somebody would pay him. The hard part is the Titans still would have his rights.
They could tag him and then trade him. And that typically does not go very well.
When do you see – well, I guess, look, you can get teams like the Texans that will trade for David Johnson, but that's dealing with Bill O'Brien, I think. Oh, and really the Texans ownership. The Texans ownership should be like, is Bob McNair is no longer alive, right?
Yeah, his son Cal. So whenever an owner dies and the son takes over, it usually doesn't go very well. Son-in-law and Tommy Smith.
It's Tommy Smith, yeah.
Well, that was son-in-law, yeah.
If it's the son-in-law and you're Tommy Smith waddling around the facility, it goes even worse because you make the worst decisions.
Yes.
And your family forces you to retire, which is hilarious.
Titans for Life says Henry would fire his agent before playing on a second tag. Seaware says the Titans took advantage of the virus for sure. Tress says Austin's on point today. Appreciate that. Champ says COVID negotiations new in sports agency class. That's for sure right there. Damon, our guy, Damon Boswell says, I'm good with not extending him now. Doesn't mean can't re-sign him next year. Need to leave room for unexpected injury and for Clowney. And I'll say this, Damon. I don't think an extension for Derrick Henry, he already signed the franchise tag. So any extension that he would have come up with the Titans before tomorrow's deadline would have been for beyond this upcoming season, that they locked in that 10.2 for the franchise tag for the salary cap. So they would still have room for Clowney and other injury purposes, like you mentioned. But I think they would have done some signing bonus that does not count against the cap in that new deal this year, but it would have been for 21 and beyond.
Do you think there was any psychology going into Derrick Henry over the last week, really going full-fledged on social media with his workouts? Now, he's done this before.
Well,
these are new age.
I put that video together yesterday morning, and it went viral. CBS Sports picked it up, and so we got some play out of that. But yeah, I said that on I tweet. That's what I tweeted. Derrick Henry saved his best workout video for 2 days before the franchise tag deadline. Because that guy looked like a cyborg freak. He looked like Ivan Drago was a baby. Like Ivan Drago's crazy workouts and Rocky looked like nothing compared to what Derrick Henry was doing over the weekend with his guy Sanders Fit.
And for everybody who has never seen Derrick Henry or stood a foot away from him, I wish you could. And I've said this, and I will go to my grave. I hope to God we don't go to World War III, but if we do, let's find some clones and let's Derrick Henry clone our entire army, because that man, and now he's getting bigger.
He doesn't get tired. He doesn't get tired. That's the craziest thing.
Yeah, he doesn't get tired.
He needs a bigger hill. Like the hill that he's been running is he's conquered it. Now he needs to go find a bigger, steeper hill to kill the grass.
Or a heavier medicine ball.
Because it's so funny. Like you look at that hill that he's been running up, the grass is dead. Like Derrick Henry has carved his cow path through that grass hill, and now he needs to find a bigger, steeper, bigger hill.
Crazy.
Zach Kripe watching on YouTube. He's also right. And also clone Chase Young.
And we just have a dread army. It would be awesome. Hey, USA.
But yeah, he is a giant. Derrick Henry is an absolute freak of a human being when it comes to size, strength, power, athleticism. And I expect him to have a big year in 2020. We just have to hope that the coronavirus allows for it.
Yeah, and that's out of our hands, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is eSports here live on this Tuesday. We've spent over 30 minutes talking about Derrick Henry not getting a contract extension from the Tennessee Titans. That was the news that Adam Schefter reported this morning. The deadline is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Time. Let's do this. Madden 21 has had their top 5 running backs leaked. So we have Derrick Henry in the top 5, and we have his Madden rating. We'll get to that here in a second, but first, Zach, tell people about Calvin and Subtle.
Yeah, Calvin and Subtle is where you need to go to get your hardwood floors. If you've been at home for probably quite some time, looking around new hardwood floors. Maybe your pets have been messing up your carpet. Rip that bad boy up and get some cost-effective or some luxurious hardwood floors. CalvinandSubtle.com, 615-448-6414. You call them up. They schedule an appointment. They use the precautions. They wear a mask. They wear gloves to make sure that they can look and see what you need to get refinished or pulled up. You pick out your perfect hardwood floors, 1 to 2 weeks. That's all it takes. Installation and everything. Tell them A to Z Sports Center. You'll get an even better deal. CalvinandSubtle.com, 615-448-6414 is their phone number.
A to Z Sports. Hey guys, Titans fans watching this show, if you have not listened to the Tighten Up podcast with Austin Huff and Jack Gentry, I highly suggest you doing that. As a Titans fan, you guys would absolutely love the Tighten Up podcast. They've also got Tighten Up Trivia that's going live on our Facebook page weekdays at 1 o'clock as they're in the second round of that. So check out the A to Z Sports Podcast Network, the Tighten Up podcast. New episode tomorrow morning on Wednesdays. That's when they release that on our A to Z Sports Podcast Network. So Zach, Derrick Henry is listed in Madden's top 5 running backs. They have come out with, the leaks have come out for the top 5 running back ratings in Madden 21. Christian McCaffrey's a 99. I remember last year when it was the midseason and they gave Christian McCaffrey that upgrade and they walked out to the practice field and gave him like some gold 99 overall trophy. And that's a cool thing for a player to be 99 overall. So that's where Christian McCaffrey is, 99 overall. I guess you've already seen it, but Derrick Henry is in the top 5. I forgot you've already seen my graphic that I made. Derrick Henry is second in the running back rankings as a 93 overall. Nick Chubb is a 92. Ezekiel Elliott is a 92. And Dalvin Cook is a 91. What was your reaction to seeing the top 5 running back ratings in Madden 21? Derrick Henry right there at 93 overall at number 2 top running back.
2 things that kind of stood out to me. Like, you forget about how good Nick Chubb was last year and how good he is. He's been very good. He was good at Georgia, right? So Nick Chubb kind of is like the forgot, because the Browns, you have Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry. You have so many other and then you have the Myles Garrett thing that happened. It overshadows how good Nick Chubb was. But the other thing that I thought was Derrick Henry probably is lower than I would put him. I would put him, if Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the game, which is at 99, Derrick Henry should be a 96. I think that should be his ranking. That leaves room for improvement or room to drop if he doesn't do as well. But 96 would be my number. I'm curious to hear everybody else's number. That's what we're going to ask you in a second. But 96 would be mine, because Derrick Henry, leading rusher in the NFL, game breaker, went to an AFC championship game, put his team on his back, beat the Patriots and the Ravens, and then the first half against the Chiefs were good, but that 2 minutes before halftime completely destroyed the two-tone blue. 96 is my ratings, but that's what we're going to ask you. What should Derrick Henry be rated in Madden this year? He's a 93. Is that right?
Well,
wrong?
Well, and
let us know.
I was honestly surprised that he was the second highest rated running back.
Who else would it be?
You know who I'm surprised? And I saw somebody comment this. Johnny Lee says, wow, no Saquon, no Barkley in the top 5. I was surprised that Saquon Barkley was not in the top 5. Like,
he was hurt.
Yeah, true. He was hurt, but people loved
his ankle was.
and he was still good. Like, and the Giants' offensive line is awful. But Saquon Barkley, people have a love fest with Saquon Barkley because he squats like 850 pounds on Instagram, and he plays in the New York market. So I was surprised that that Saquon Barkley was not in the top 5. I think people have a love fest for Saquon. I wasn't surprised. I was surprised that Zeke wasn't higher than Derrick Henry because of the Dallas market and because Zeke has been at a higher level for a longer time than Derrick Henry. I think 93 is right. I think 93 is appropriate.
Well, you always discredit Derrick Henry. You're a doubter, so that makes sense why you're a bit lower.
I think a 93 is appropriate, because Derrick Henry does have some holes in his game. He's not that good when the ball's not in his hands. When the ball is not in his hands, Derrick Henry struggles. And what are you talking about? What are you laughing about?
I'm laughing at you.
Why are you laughing?
Because you continue to be a Derrick Henry doubter, and it's hilarious. It's comical. It's like a stand-up.
I'm not doubting. I think a 93 is appropriate. I'm saying Derrick Henry rated as a 93 is appropriate. There's no way you can doubt anybody who is rated as a 93 and you agree with it. I think Derrick Henry has holes in his game. His pass protection is not that outstanding. And also his route running ability is basically nothing. And his catching ability is not natural. Yes, he's good at catching screens and then running straight for 75-yard touchdowns, but he doesn't really do anything else.
What's the goal of the game?
Score touchdowns.
75-yard touchdowns.
But Zach, he's limited in the passing game. And that's not like some breaking news that I'm saying, nor is that controversial opinion to have.
I just feel like you're ridiculous.
No, I'm not.
And look,
Zach, I
just
cannot
like me, you're stubborn. You're never going to change.
What are you talking about?
Even if you do,
how is it?
Look, you have come a long way, but Derrick Henry has had to lead the NFL in rushing to finally get you to come around, and you still don't give him the credit.
I think he's appropriately a 93 rating in Madden, and you're still saying that I'm doubting the guy.
He's not 6 away from Christian McCaffrey. He's the leading rusher in the NFL. He dominates when cornerbacks and safeties and linebackers try to catch his ass. They can't.
That's true. That's why he's a 93 in Madden. He's really good. He's really good.
He should be higher. He should be higher.
I think a 93 is appropriate. You know who?
Derrick, you're getting a like right there. Austin showing his true colors.
I've been consistent now about this Derrick Henry thing. I don't know what true colors you're talking about. I also called Derrick Henry the team MVP just like 20 minutes ago. Like, you guys are ridiculous.
I think there's getting some truth.
You're calling me a Derrick Henry doubter because I think him being rated a 93 is appropriate.
Well, I've always called you that because your statements on this program have always yielded that you are a doubter.
Quick shade. I do not like when people call radio shows or sports talk shows programs. It drives me crazy. It's not a program.
Well, this is a program.
It program that
by definition. This is
not on the PBS network. Those are programs. This is not a program.
It is a program.
I can't. That's just a tiny little thing I cannot stand. But no, Derrick Henry I called him a great running back earlier. Now what are you laughing at?
Because it's funny. I was having a conversation about this. Well, I don't know how long ago. But you know how people have catchwords. A lot of people don't like the C word. I'm not going to drop the C word, but that really irritates them. Or like the word panties. Moist. People don't like the word moist. And I think it's hilarious that your word is program.
I don't like it. Sounds snobby. It's like, oh, welcome to the program. Like, stop taking yourself so seriously that you call it a program. Eric Torres says, shut the hell up, both of you. Okay, Eric, you can just keep scrolling on your phone and not watch if you don't want to watch us talk.
Eric,
you did this to yourself, Eric. But still, look, Derrick Henry is a great running back. I think Derrick Henry as a 93 rating on Madden makes complete sense to me as a rating. I think 99 for Christian McCaffrey, that makes sense too. I'm surprised Ezekiel Elliott isn't at least a 94, just to put the Dallas Cowboys running back making $15 million a year slightly ahead of Derrick Henry. And I'm also surprised that Saquon Barkley is not in the top 5. Those are my takes on the top 5 running back ratings on Madden 20.
And this is why I love this show. I love this program, Austin. I love this program because people are now jumping in trying to guess what the C word is. Yeah. And we've got counter, COVID, crunch, crowd, not like COME.
This COME.
There you go. You guys have made this. You've made my Tuesday. That was really funny. And this is a community that I could get community.
This isn't a program. It's a damn community. All right.
Castle. This is something that I could get on board. Oh my gosh. Thank you for this. That made me laugh. That really made me laugh.
Titans for Life says, Austin, Christian McCaffrey is not equivalent to Adrian Peterson and Barry Sanders over the years. 99 is too high.
What do you think about that?
Titans for Life. Christian McCaffrey has broken those two guys' records for all-purpose yards in the first 3 years of his career. What the hell are you talking about? You're right. He's not equivalent. He's been more productive. Thank you, Titans for Life.
You cannot deny that. Now, different game, but yeah,
I don't care.
I'm not arguing.
Guys,
I'm not arguing that Christian McCaffrey shouldn't be a 99. I think Derrick Henry should be higher.
You think he should be a 96? And I think 93 is
because again, it's what I said earlier. The value to the football team. I value that. Madden rating shouldn't just be about a singular player. It's what he means to your football team. And for where the Titans are compared to where the Carolina Panthers are, that is higher than 93. That's a 96.
No.
96 is the perfect number.
That's not how they do Madden ratings.
Oh yeah. Well, then how do they do it? Do you know their algorithm?
They have many different skills.
Yeah,
they don't do it based on team need. They do it based on on what you are out of 100.
That should be influence. No. You know how they do it?
It should be, but it's not.
Austin,
Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry are graded on the same 1 to 100s or 99 scale. It's the same.
No. You know how they do it? A bunch of Canadians down in Orlando working at EA facility. They put their heads together and they're opinion based. That's what it is. They put stats involved, but it's their freaking opinion. So don't give me this BS. They had Brett Kern at 79 last year. They could all just go jump back in the Ottawa River, if that even is a river, because it doesn't make any sense. You cannot sit here and say this makes sense. 93 does not. It's an opinion-based thing by EA Sports.
Did you see? You know what was ridiculous? Aaron Rodgers was an 89. So if Derrick Henry's a 93 and Aaron Rodgers is an 89, I say, you know what? They probably screwed Aaron Rodgers a little bit for whatever reason, but I think 93 for Derrick Henry is appropriate.
I disagree, and we're not going to agree on it. So,
all right, A to Z Sports here live on this Tuesday. Oh boy, long show of just disagreements about Derrick Henry.
Well, of course, this is your MO. And usually when we talk about Derrick Henry, I have always praised 22 because I know his true worth, his true value, and his true skill. And we got Mr. Doubter over there who has never believed in Derrick Henry.
What are you talking about? You're literally lying to our community. You're saying that I never give Derrick Henry the credit he's due?
No.
I called him the MVP today.
Yeah, and it was like tying a string around your
What are you talking about? You are flat out lying to our viewers right now.
I am not. I do not lie. You
are. By saying that I never give Derrick Henry his due is lying because I do that.
Not consistently. You never consistently give him his due. You're always yo-yoing. When he does something good, you praise him. But you always have this underlying factor of not truly
that he's not perfect.
Wrong.
That he's not perfect.
He's a 96.
He's not. He's actually a 93.
And we're disagreeing, and we're going to move on.
All right, A to Z Sports. Let's move on to masks. Zach is going to put on his mask. He thinks it's a funny mask. I don't know what Zach's mask is. But we're going to talk about what masks do you wear when you go out in public for the coronavirus. But first, let me tell you guys about a great sponsor that we have. That is Mandu, the Pulse of Fitness, where one 15-minute workout of full-body electronic muscle stimulation simulates 5+ hours in the weight room. The results are real because the science is real. Your first workout is absolutely free. Mandu.com. It's the perfect time to try Mandu for the first time because your regular gym is either closed or has some really uncomfortable restrictions that you don't like. We're at Mandu. You don't have to worry about that. It's by appointment only. It's a one-on-one or one-on-two workout at max. Mandu.com. You only spend 15 minutes working out. And Champ saying right there in the comments on Periscope, Mandu, it's real, folks. Give it a shot. And our guy Damon, who we talked about earlier in the show, has been doing Mandu, and his doctors have loved how he has changed his body and his health for the long haul. Mandu.com, your first workout's free.
A to Z Sports. Look, I got to do Mandu either today or tomorrow. I got to figure that out. But
I got it already scheduled for tomorrow.
I've been doing it consistently. I love it. It makes you feel good on the other side of it, and it's a great workout. Also is also great. Our store, AZ30, 30% off all orders. Shop A to Z sportsnatural.com. Everything in the store until sports are back is 30% off, so you can rock that badass logo.
All right, Zach. You think you got a funny mask, or you're in?
Well, I don't know. I know I have a funny mask because when people look at me, and I do this on purpose because again, I don't like masks. I'm out on COVID. I'm tired of it. I'm done with it. I'm moving on with my life. But if the county or the city, I'm going to respect others. I'm not going to have some old man yell at me at Walmart saying, put your mask on, Sonny. I'm just going to wear my mask. But in the process, I'm either going to make people laugh or uncomfortable. All right. Austin, I want to see your mask first. Just a traditional mask?
Yeah.
Medical mask?
No,
or handmade mask?
It's a handmade mask. I got it from my grandparents like in the month of April, right when we first had to do this. Pretty simple. It's blue. It matches most things that I wear. It's denim cloth. Yeah, it's comfortable. It fits around my big ears nicely, and it covers everything that needs to be covered. So this is my mask. This is my go-to. I also have one that I keep in my wife's car, so I make sure I have one at all times. So that's my mask right there. It's hard to talk and do the show while wearing that, by the way.
Yeah, and that's the problem is that the reasons why I don't like masks are the communication between two individuals. I understand there's two barriers, right, for reasons. I understand it. I'm not sitting here saying screw masks, don't wear them. You can wear them. But it also I don't like because it hides facial expressions. And that's how I read people. That's how you can tell a lot about somebody.
So about the eyes, right? Well, your eyes is what gives away your facial expression for the most part. But a lot of times I'm wearing sunglasses. And so if I'm wearing sunglasses and a mask, you have no idea if I'm smiling at you or if I'm mad or how I feel. So I agree. Yeah. It's hard.
I get it. People don't like my take on COVID. But
again, like you're wearing a mask. Like again, your take, we agree with your take.
Well, no, overall, I'm talking about in general. How I care about.
But everybody agrees that wearing a mask is annoying, but we do it because we sacrifice for the greater good and we try to be better people for it.
All right, so this is my mask, and this is why I like people staring at me like kind of like, is he going to rob us? Is he going to rob this bank or this post office or this grocery store? Is he going to pull a gun out and try to like do something? Or is he just hilarious?
Oh, geez. See, you can't even put it on right because you're looking at yourself in the screen, which is backwards.
That's true.
So it's a lot hard. So you got the Joker mask.
It is difficult. There we go.
Yes. So there.
This is my mask, and it's slightly left. But standing there, kids look at me, and if especially I'm wearing a hat on, I've got a hat. I don't think it's within distance, but I look like I could be uncomfortable, right? I could be trying to pull something. But you can also see my mouth. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when I talk, you can actually see my expressions, but I'm always smiling, which I also think is good. But yeah, people look at me, and I think it's funny because this is a non-traditional mask. It's a ski mask.
Right. And the lips moving is a good Tribe Called Quest is the lips move. That's clutch. I agree. I think it is funny and also creepy at the same time, as Johnny Lee says.
Yeah, it is. And I get more looks from kids being like, oh my gosh, mommy, daddy, I don't know about that guy. And I'm sitting there, I'm doing my own business. I'm not going to hurt anybody. I'm wearing my mask. I'm not breathing over anybody, but I can also speak and talk. It is funny. I was talking about my story yesterday about the post office. I had this mask on the entire time.
Oh God. Well, that's why it was so flammable. Like that whole run-in was because if you were wearing like a regular like mask, I bet you would have gotten less attitude from the post office worker.
I don't know. I think I bring the attitude for what should be brought in, as they say.
Yeah, but you walk in and you already look like you're angry. Like that's the point.
But I'm smiling.
But you're not.
I am.
You're not. You're not smiling. Now you are. Now you really have to exaggerate the smile in the mask for it to show up.
So if you see this on the streets,
it's that.
Just give me like an elbow, right? Don't shake my hand. That's offensive. But give me an elbow. Give me one of those chicken wings and be like, what's up? What's up?
Put the money in the bag. I have walked into a bank over the last several months with a mask, sunglasses, and a backwards hat on. And I had to like pause I was like, I should probably take the sunglasses off.
I look like Inside Man.
Yeah, I know. Like I should probably do something to make myself look not like a bank robber. All right, guys, A to Z Sports. We've had a good show as we've talked a lot about Derrick Henry here. All you guys, I mean, look, wear a mask. Don't be a dick. Wear a mask. Simple as that. A to Z Sports. Have a great. Yes, something else.
I don't want to fully go there, but I guess my question, I got into a conversation about this the other day. When can we stop wearing a mask?
I don't know.
Now, this is serious. Now, when can we stop wearing a mask?
I saw somebody tweet.
When's
I think
the date? What's the deadline?
I don't know. I don't think
so. Our government is going to tell us what to do for. So this is how I view it, and this is why.
Well, that's not. No, it's we should not. We should listen to the scientists and the medical professionals,
like the World Health Organization.
I didn't say that.
What I'm saying is what I don't like, and it drives me crazy in sports. And I'll give a good sports analogy to where we are right now. When somebody does something wrong, you are suspended indefinitely, right? I hate the word indefinitely because there is no end, right? I feel like we are wearing masks indefinitely. And I will do this to a point because I will abide by the rules. I respect other people. I'm not trying to get other people sick. I live my life differently. We all are free. It's America. All right, but we're wearing a mask indefinitely. And I don't necessarily like that.
Well, I saw this from yesterday from CDC Director Dr. Robert Redfield. Quote, if everyone could wear a face covering over the next 6 weeks, we could drive this into the ground. End quote.
It's one man's opinion.
Yeah, but CDC Director Dr. Robert Redfield. One man opinion, but probably a man who knows what he's talking about. So let's just wear it until September. And then when we get to that point, we'll see what happens then, and then we can move forward. I don't think there should be a set deadline because science evolves and it changes, and we just have to go along with it.
Right, but everlasting. Again, America is based on freedoms and picking and choosing. And when I asked you how long are we going to wear these masks, you didn't have an answer. And that I think
because I don't know because
that heightens my awareness. That's all I will say.
Well, because that's not how science works.
I'm not Karening saying I'm not going to do it. I'm just bringing up some points to think about.
Eric missed yesterday's show, apparently, saying Zach's new name is Karen. We've gone over this. The male Karen is now Geoff.
Still trying to figure that out.
Yeah. No, it's Geoff. We did it yesterday. Geoff. So we're all
and I don't like to be controlled, right? That's not what the basis of our Constitution is.
Yeah, but do you want football season? But it's like you don't like to be controlled, but do you wear your seatbelt?
That's a law. Wearing a mask is not a law.
It's a mandate in a lot of places.
A mandate is different than a law. You can look that up. That's my issue.
Right, but you don't like being controlled. But there are laws that are controlling you.
Laws that society agree on. Those are written. Those are passed. There are checks and balances to get to that. There were zero checks and balances for these mask rule, and I don't mind it. Right, I understand the safety. I'm not sitting up here bitching and moaning. I am saying, when is this going to end? This cannot continue for indefinitely, right? But
it will continue indefinitely as long as people are selfish and stubborn and saying you can't make me do something.
There will become a point when that happens, though.
Sure, there's a boiling point for everything,
right? And so that boiling point, whether it's the election or the vaccine, these masks.
Look, I just want football season.
Look, I'm with you. And one of the reasons, I'll tell you this, Austin, one of the main reasons why I wear a mask and I abide is because they have not yet taken away what you and I, and everybody watching this show right now truly loves. They've taken away sports for a period of time, but we all love NFL football. America loves NFL football. And if that doesn't happen, or if that is completely screwed up, that's when I'm going to get pissed off.
Well, and it's in jeopardy right now.
I will abide by the mandates.
Because football season is in serious jeopardy right now. Greg Sankey said it yesterday for the SEC. By the way, I have a fantastic idea that I will tell you guys tomorrow about how the SEC can make our college football season better. So be ready for that. I've got the article in the works. I haven't written an article in a long time. So no, this is serious because I am writing an article on A2ZSportsNashville.com. I only do that when it's super important. And this I feel like is a great idea for the SEC for football season. So we will discuss that tomorrow morning. And I think a lot of people are really going to like it.
And look, we are going to talk about it. It's going to be a great show tomorrow. Before we get out of here, a bit of good news on this COVID situation, and then we'll move on. Yesterday, the first time since March 11th, New York did not have a COVID death. Did CNN or Fox News or any of those other news outlets report that? I didn't see it.
I saw it on Twitter. I saw it on Twitter from a lot of places, but
from those national outlets?
I don't know.
No, probably not. But that happened yesterday. That's a sign of positivity. There you go.
All right, guys. So in the 2 days after being back from 2 weeks off, we've done shade and good news. So we've just got a lot of stuff to talk about. So be ready for tomorrow's show.
I got like 20 things in my phone.
I could not stay quiet for long. So get ready for tomorrow's show because tomorrow's show, we're going to talk college football and what the SEC needs to do because it's my idea. I have not seen it anywhere from anybody else. It's my idea about the SEC and what they can do to help out. So get ready for it. Tomorrow's going to be a fun day, a fun show. So thanks. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Buck Rising back tonight with the A to Z Sports Primetime Show. We've got the Tighten Up podcast coming out tomorrow. Buck will have a 615 Sessions podcast interview today out as well. So A to Z Sports Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcast. So thanks for watching, guys. We will see you later on.
Adios.